My name's Hannah Plank, and this is my case study presentation for data analysis and assessment. So in this case study, we are faced with this particular high school having the lowest attendance rates among any of the high schools in the area, and at its lowest it's been in years. Based on the data, it looks like staff, students, and families have all played a role in this attendance problem, and we know based on science and research that students' attendance levels obviously will affect their performance. So this falls under some truancy laws, some parents patrie, which means parents have a duty to see that their children are educated, and if not, the state could then step in and see to it that things are handled for the welfare of the child. Per the case study, this would be particularly pertinent for student Christina and student Carl. Some of the absences reason that were approved show a breach in policy on the teacher's part, and there's even been some issues of favoritism and bias also with staff. So, in my opinion, a combination of ignorance on the part of students and families and a lack of consistency on the part of staff with regard to attendance policies has led to the decline in attendance and academic performance. This is the issue that we are tackling. So, as Principal Rhodes, the staff approving absences is inconsistent with enforcing the policy. Student attendance affects their grades and academic performance, and the families some families seem to have a view of the importance of attendance that's a little skewed. So in USD 123 at Golden Oak High School, we have 965 students from 9th through 12th. Of those, 659 have had more than 10 absence just in the first semester, okay? We can see that with our graph here, the red, that's the number of students who aren't coming. We have a very large middle-class population, and have had a large influx of Asian and Hispanic immigrants and transfers from other places. Most of our families live here but commute to the metro for work. Our current policy says this: excused absences are only for illnesses, death of immediate family, and inclement weather, or a valid reason excused by principal with prior approval. Upon 5 unexcused absences in a class, teachers had authority to subtract 10 points from the student's total number of points for the quarter. That's what it says now. Obviously, it's not working. Here's the reasons why we need to fix this, and fix it pronto, okay? We know education is vital to the welfare of the state. Society reaps benefits from having an educated and informed citizens. We also know students have to be in school in order for learning to take place effectively, okay? Potential employers, we know, routinely look at attendance patterns before anything else. If the person is not showing up for school, they're not going to show up for work. And individuals are able to recognize greater economic benefits because of job credentials and skills. So I believe, while we have not looked at the data on this yet, I believe that if we were to look at post-high school successes, we would see a correlation between the individual's employment outlooks and how often they were in school. They would have better jobs, better paying jobs. So, here's our options. Do nothing. Okay, we keep on carrying on. Attendance rates will continue to decline, academic performance declines, states' futures will become increasingly in danger of poverty and potentially living off the state. Okay? Or we implement my attendance boosting action plan, and students and their families would understand the importance of school attendance and have fewer reasons for absence. Okay? The information about this plan would go out to parents as well as statistics about school attendance and why it's important for kids to be in school. They could be sent out multiple ways. For students, we would have an assembly at the beginning of each semester outlining the same information. Teachers and staff, this would be covered through in-service days and staff meetings and things like that. The big thing, the big change in this plan is a change in motivation, okay? There will be a finals exemption, and prom and school activities will be attendance-based. More on that. So, under the carry-on option, okay, yeah, it means less work for staff, and some students are going to get off easy and benefit. The cons, not everybody will. Academic achievements will keep declining, enrollment will decline, income and poverty values will also decline, and we could see our area go from middle class to lower class in a matter of years. Under the new plan, there will be better motivation for the students to be in school and all students would have the same opportunities and responsible for their own education. Parents would be better informed, and there would be more consistency and equality from all the teachers and staff. Now, it will require more effort on the part of the staff. There will be a little bit of a learning curve, and as with anything, change is never easy. There's going to be some blowback because you can't make everybody happy pretty much. That's just the nature of the beast. The choice is pretty clear, okay? By eliminating the 10 points off the grade punishment, those who do have to be gone for legitimate reasons won't have their grades suffer. Okay, so in the case of John and his concussion protocol and physical therapy appointments, his grade won't suffer because of that. By having more incentive-based, like the exemption, finals exemption, and prom and school trips, the students are going to be better motivated to stay in school instead of missing for arbitrary reasons, okay? And it also will make things more clear and laid out for staff, fully trained on what constitutes excused and unexcused, and this will make equal treatment for all students in all circumstances. No more favorites, no more bias, no more rule bending, period. So here's how the semester exam thing breaks down. All students will be required to take final exams in every class that they're enrolled in, unless they meet one of these requirements: 3 absences and an A average, 1 absence and a B average, or no absence and a C. If they meet all of these in all their classes, they won't have to take a final at the end of each semester. Now, here's some parameters, okay? They will be permitted up to 3 doctor's notes that are specific to those absences. Okay, that can be physician, dentist, orthodontist, counselor, any of those type of things. They also can't have any detentions or have ISS or OSS. Okay, and school functions like sports trips and things or bereavement aren't going to count towards that either. Okay. As for school activities, they have to have a passing grade and less than 5 absences per semester in order to go to homecoming, prom, field trips, those kinds of things. Okay, if they can keep that, they can go. And the same sort of parameters that we just spoke about for finals will apply here too. Students will be informed of this policy changes via the school assemblies at the beginning of each semester, and we probably will also have reminders go out through the digital system. Families will be made aware of the policy and statistics regarding attendance at enrollment, during the enrollment time, and also through the digital system. Teachers and staff will be trained prior in proper absence approval and the ramifications of non-consistency. We're going to talk about those during staff meetings, professional days, and reminders will keep going out too. Now, the first semester we're going to count as a transition semester, okay? That's when we will be enforcing the policy and deal with the problems that come with it, okay? Starting the second semester, that's when we're going to start investigating any of those kids that are going past their 5 absences, okay? Start figuring out why. Is the reason a problem with the student, their family, a staff? What's the main issue, okay? Depending on what the core issue is, we'll determine how we go from there. If it's a staff member who's not following protocol, that's going to be handled immediately, okay? Not ruling out the possibility of disciplinary action on that. If it's a problem with the student or the family, is it something that we need to get social services or the counselor or the school resource officer? Is it something that we need to get one of them involved in, okay? At the previous school, the SRO was called on to give rides to school to a few students, okay? That added some motivation. If after 2 years, okay, we're going to give this a shot for 2 academic years, okay, to see if we see any improvement. If there's no improvement, we've got some other things, okay, some plan Bs. We're going to look at doing a district-wide survey to, again, figure out the core of the problem. And we'll also look at things like maybe implementing some virtual school or some credit recovery or something else to get these kids to meet them where they are, okay? And anything more than 10% attendance rate increase will be considered improvement, okay? So that's the nuts and bolts of my plan, and by studying the case so far, the biggest issues I see I think have to do with motivation. So if we can handle that, I think the rest will come. I thank you for your time, and I welcome any feedback.